Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, hosts of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this edition of the Crash Course. A little bit of an unorthodox program coming to you tonight. We're going to be catching up with Brian here in just a few minutes. 6:02 here Eastern Time as we get ready for episode number 330. We're going to be getting into a little bit about Burlington. Going to be getting into it a little bit about the Unified Point Series and what's going on with that. Of course, the news that came out over the course of the weekend was that we had lost the Tigert Memorial now. That one officially off of the calendar. Some other events for next year, also watching cautiously as the COVID positive rate continues to get more severe in different pockets of the country. James Brown, one of the longtime friends of the show, made the trip down to Burlington along with many of the New York drivers and braved the Weld Compacts division. There was 48 cars, I believe, in the stock compacts. There was another 28 or so in the Weld Compacts, and James went down to Burlington and spoiled a bunch of the Keystone Staters' day and took the win. James is now on the line with us. We're going to get him in real quick because he's got to get off to his bowling league night before, so we don't want to impede on that too much. Man, James, congratulations on the win. I saw that trophy sitting in the front seat of the truck and was awful happy for you. James, can you hear me?
Thanks very much. I had no business going down there for the junk I had, but, you know.
What you brought a car down there, and your Facebook post repeatedly described it as tired. Which car was that you took down there? Because I know you generally don't throw anything away.
Right, yeah. I took my Paradise car. I ran a Paradise, took third there at a 48 last October. It's just been sitting in the front yard as a COVID derby ornament all year long, and I couldn't let it go. I had too much life left, but not really enough for a win. So I put some Band-Aids on it and decided to drive 2 hours and take my chances.
You said that you guys worked together to make sure that as much of the money and trophies came back to New York as possible. I was trying to keep up with everybody that had gone down there. Who else that you knew of was on track with you in that heat?
Both Eldridge boys were there. Toby Wise, Luke Hobart. Let's see. Trying to think. There was a bunch of them. Corey Herzog, Guy Raymond Jr. was there.
Nice.
I think that was pretty much about it.
Lee Sager, Prodigy Gaming, he went down there and got just about to the top 5 in that really, really deep stock division. And I think it was just a matter that the car ran out of water is what I remember hearing. His car got hot, and that was that. And by the time it cooled down, he was able to drive it on the trailer. You don't travel out of state a whole lot. Between your work schedule that you try to keep at the restaurant in Geneva and all the other challenges that you've got in terms of the irons that you've got in the fire, you don't get out of state a whole lot. When was the last time you drove outside of New York?
Oh, probably 2-3 years ago at least.
Yeah, so it's been a little while.
I probably when I went to Bash probably was the last time I went. Just went to watch.
So I mean, it's been a bit since you broke outside of New York. I mean, going down there, you said that you had no business going down there. We've talked at length about your career and everything over the last 7 years or so, and gone from being the hammer and trying to drive smarter and refine the build and do a better job with the construction of the car and get the car to last. Is this sort of a culmination of all those parts and pieces? You've won at the county fair level. Now you went and you won a pretty sizable postseason show.
Yeah, you know, I didn't even care about winning the show. I just wanted the car gone. It's got a lot of my good parts in it. I'm just going to spend the winter building motors this year, not going to worry about cars this winter. But, I mean, I just went down there and made New York proud. I just wanted to go down there and put the hammer down, and it just so happened that I was there at the end. There was definitely some stiff competition. Them PA boys can definitely build good cars, but, I lost steering in the last, 7-8 minutes of the Derby, and I guess I got lucky. I mean, if I saw somebody without steering, I would have just left them.
How was it that you were able to last that long with no steering in the Weld cars like that? You know, you'd think that with no steering and some of the other issues that were causing the car to labor, that it would put you at a disadvantage. Those guys happened to stay close enough to you where you could stay active with a little bit of that dirty derby equation, but all the same, I mean, it's still no easy task to drive a front-wheel drive car without the steering.
Right. It was definitely odd, definitely different. I broke the rack in half, so it wasn't like I had a tie rod or anything that was messed up. So I mean, the wheel just spun, but it was still pretty solid. So the tires stayed pretty straight for the most part. I just played my game, stayed, calmed down, and just waited for the shots to come, and took ugly shots just to get turned in certain directions, and just played the game and just made it the best I could.
Well, it certainly did pan out in the right way with the win. Shifting gears now to everything that's been going on up here, tons of renovations to the restaurant. The challenges with Jerry and your family after the accident. How is everybody doing? Teresa having the issues with her ankle and everything. You guys have been very busy and still were able to put the car together, and it's got to be a little bit of a relief to pull that win down.
Oh, absolutely. Deciding a week and a half prior to the Derby to piece a car back together that had no heart in it, and it was nose to the sky, and it was in really rough shape. But I just spent long hours after work every day, put my 12, 14 hours in at work, put another 6 hours in at night, slept when I could, and did the best I could. It's tough with, my brother and everything going on right now. I'm only one person. I only got two hands. I can only be so many places at once. And, thankfully everybody supported me and stepped up where they could, and we made it happen.
That is outstanding. How's the bowling team this year?
Not too bad. It's not, I didn't really want to bowl in another league. 33 weeks is a long, long time. But Pat from the bowling alley at Sunset here in Border City, he asked me if I wanted to bowl on his team, and I said I'd be honored. So me and Sean from work, we both decided to jump on the team and take that dive in the 33-week league, and it's been really well. I'm not the best bowler, but I'm just here to have fun.
Well, I mean, that's sort of your motto. I've heard you say that sentence a lot, whether you're talking about the restaurant, whether you're talking about Ontario County, Yates County, Seneca County Fair Derby cars, getting ready to go to Paradise, or now in this case, just going down to Pennsylvania to finish a car and have a good time, and this time it paid dividends for you with the win. When the steering rack broke, was there a point where you thought, boy, I don't know if we're going to be able to pull this thing off?
Oh, as soon as it broke, I mean, I ended up full track in Luke Hobart in the front driver's side tire, and right then and there, I just knew my wheel just started spinning, and I says, "Oh, that was nice." I counted them afterwards. I hit over 60 people. I hit over 60 times in the Derby. It was pretty impressive for myself. I was very proud, but I thought I was done right then and there. Right as soon as I hit him, I had no steering. I'm like, what am I going to do? And I just, got myself together and just said, all right, now it's time to play smart. So driving like an idiot all night, it's time to just sit back and see what I can make out of this.
And is it an adrenaline rush, or is it panic when you realize you got a car that's been running pretty good, and all of a sudden that steering wheel just spins in your hands? And how hard is it to regain yourself?
Oh, it's severe panic. Knowing that you just went down from 28 to top 7, I would say. You know, you had that real hard rear-wheel drive, whether it was a Pacer or Gremlin or whatever it was, still left. And Guy Raymond was still out there. And, you know, Toby Wise, Luke Hobart, and Corey Herzog were all out there still. And I was like, man, there's some good drivers. And what am I going to do now? Because, you know, me and Corey battled it out a few times. And, you know, I've known Guy for quite a while. And me and Toby go back quite a ways. And, you know, it's like I know these people, and, you know, are they going to take advantage of this, or are they going to, you know, how are we going to do this? And it just so happened that, you know, it worked out in my favor.
Is there any likelihood that they didn't realize you lost steering?
I would imagine so, because I've had a lot of people that were there and that watched the videos that didn't even notice I lost steering until I started trying to make shots, and I was driving right past the car that I was, I guess you could say, aiming for, if there was an aiming ability at that time. But
sure.
I mean, it probably was, because they kept turning me right perfect, so I could just nudge somebody and make my hit when I needed to every, you know, minute and a half.
With the rack out of that, just because I don't know enough about how the front end is put together on that. With the rack coming out of it, does that put you at any greater risk of losing the front drive shafts?
No, the rack sits on the back portion of the subframe. It's what the tie rods go into. Your steering column goes down and attaches to the top of the rack, and that's what makes the tires turn. So the whole top of the rack blew right off of it. So it was almost locked up in one direction.
Right.
There was no. I mean, you could hit the tires a little bit, and they would move a little bit, but no full turn or anything, even if they hit me hard in the tires. So I was going straight forward, backwards, regardless.
Right. I mean, I'm just thinking about some of the times that we've seen, like at Wheel Days, one of the cars, at least that sticks out in my mind, one of the compacts had lost steering and was having issues with the front end as a whole. And the wheel, when he would step on the throttle, the wheel would snap one direction or another. And eventually that wheel snapped one way, and it came too far over, and a wise driver saw it and came along and tagged it and was able to ultimately break the drive shaft, and that's what took him out. So I was wondering if you were fighting something like that, but with the way that rack broke, locking it in essentially a forward position, I can see where that's a bit of a silver lining, I guess you could say, versus the alternative.
Yeah, and most of the times when the tire starts flopping, it's usually a broken tie rod. I mean, that's what holds your whole tire straight. And your ball joints on the bottom obviously keeps the bottom in, but the tie rods were both still in there. And, I mean, they were reinforced. They weren't bending regardless, but it's the first time I've ever blown a rack to pieces like that. It was very different. And someone kept asking me, did I make the rookie mistake of not having a slider steering shaft in there? And it's like, no, I had a 16-inch slider in there. It's not going anywhere. It's not falling out like they do a lot of times. It literally broke the rack, blew the whole top of it off. I've never seen it.
Well, I guess you just made it too hard.
Yeah, you can say that. I mean, it had probably a whole case of Band-Aids on it. So, I mean, it was, you know, they say where paint makes it 10% harder. You know, you never know.
That's right. That's right. I know you've got bowling coming up here. I appreciate you making some time for us. I hope everything continues to go well with the restaurant and facing some of the adversity, and the renovations continue to trend well for you. And I hope that your brother continues to recover well, and everybody at home stays healthy. And above all else, man, congratulations on the win. I was very happy to hear it, and it's certainly well deserved.
Thank you very much. You know, like I said, I definitely didn't plan on that happening, and I definitely very joyous that it did. Just got to stay humble, and you know, not there for a long time. I'm just there for a good time. So,
right on.
Thanks for having me. I definitely appreciate it. I wish I could be there tonight, but.
I got you. We will get together at some point, I'm sure. Before I let you go, anybody that you want to make mention of?
Yeah, I want a special thanks, Richie. His son goes to school with Mickey. He definitely gave me a huge help, you know, ever since Jerry got hurt, and a lot of his friends are in the woods hunting right now. It's tough to get them out of the woods and get people helping. So it was myself pretty much and him that did most of the work. And special thanks to Teresa for, you know, dealing with the long days, long nights, and being my video master, making sure that we got good shots and we're well fed and everything's taken care of while we do this crazy life called Demolition Derby.
All right, man. Well, I sure do appreciate it, James. We'll catch up with you soon. Congratulations again, and enjoy your bowling league.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good night.
We'll see you now. There goes a couple thoughts from James Brown. Appreciate him making some time for us. Something wild happening there with the delay of some sort. We'll have to see what we can do with Brian here. Just want to run through a couple things real quick while we get Brian on the line. The Dead Man Derby, No Mercy, Dead Man Derby Productions, online, deadmanderby.com, coming up in spring 2021 at the end of April. The first night of the program is going to have 3-man compact heats, 80s Pro Stock heats, and the half-ton trucks and SUVs. Saturday is a full day of Demolition Derby action. Are you there? All right. There we go. This is... This is rough. So Brian's joining us on the line now. We got Brian along for the ride with us. The last chance events are Saturday afternoon, plus the youth compacts, which is $800 to win. Imperials are $2,000 to win. Minivan, trucks, and mini SUVs, $1,200 to win. Full-size team one and done. The Dead Man compacts, 70s and 80s Pro Stock division, which is $8,000 to win. The 3-man compact team feature, $6,000 to win. And full-size mercenary one and done, which is $3,000 to win. All that packed into the second day of No Mercy for Dead Man Derby. Smash It Demolition Derby's wrapped up their season, I think, because they just keep finding ways to do more shows over the course of the weekend. Again, they're going to extend their thanks. We're looking for we got to regroup with Tim here once the dust settles for the last parts of his season. The year-end meetings and stuff get all taken care of, and of course, as Fatty continues to recover from his heart attack, we got to get with him and get everything all situated for 2021. Because right now, fingers are crossed that we are going to be having the derbies as scheduled for next year. Smash It Derby has details out on the Bash for Cash. Entries and registrations opened on the 1st for that, for everybody that was registered for 2020. On the 15th, it opened up to everybody. So many thanks out to everybody who supported Smash It Demolition Derbies through a challenging and unprecedented season. We could not do this without the support of the drivers, fans, fair boards, and partners year after year with all sincerity. Big thank you to them. Jeffy's Fab Farm. Jeffy was behind one of the teams that appeared at the virtual Blizzard Bash over the course of the weekend. We'll get into that a little bit here. Recognized as an industry leader in all manner of fabrication needs, Jeffy's Fab Farm is a national go-to for a number of Demolition Derby parts. Jeffy's Fab Farm specializes in LS conversion components, but really made a dent in the market with their various header offerings, and it all started just with wanting to make a couple stacks for some buddies. The Fab Farm released a 4-cylinder Camry engine mount and then headers for the Hyundai Elantra engines as well this summer. The store offers bumper-to-bumper selection, including fuel and air parts, suspension and transmission items, steering components, pedals, shifters, switches, and gauges. If you need it, it is on the farm. Smith Metalworks online, smithmetalworks.info. Experience and passion second to none. All-purpose fabrication shop that has more than 40 years of combined metalworking experience. The hallmark of the product line is the pointed and flat front bumpers, replicating popular factory releases. Of course, they got the super stock bumper as well. They can be stuffed or ran hollow. There's a compact version of the pointed bumper available as well. Other items include the Crown Vic door skins, battery boxes, engine mounting systems, pedal combos, and shifters. You can also check out the distributor clamps, various odds and ends, and the GM BMP floor liners. In-person locations are available in Mercer, Uniontown, and Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. You can also order online, and it'll be shipped right to your door. smithmetalworks.info for all the details there. So Brian is joining us on the line to talk a little bit about some of the other happenings that have been going on. The big thing, as we alluded to, make sure we got Brian turned up. There's Brian. Brian, I got a bunch of stuff for your wife in my car.
Yeah, I know. She says she made some arrangements, and then I just got up this morning, and I've had a little bit of a cold for, I don't know, a few days, and got up this morning, it was kind of in my chest, and I said, just the way 2020 is going, I'm not going to take any chances, because of my luck, I got something worse than COVID, and I didn't want to take any chances, so I just figured I'd hang out here tonight, and try to just get over this garbage, whatever's going on. So, we're gonna have to get together at some point. Maybe this week. I bring a long stick and hand you out some money. And you can throw the masks to me. We can go from there.
If you were cruising Facebook, you might have saw the pictures from Joey Roth getting married. It was kind of cool. Did some pictures from his wedding back at the end of October, which was cool to see. Joey Roth, one of our friends from up in Washington. And then yesterday, Daryl Ewing posted some pictures after he got married as well. So congratulations out to them. That was cool. Unfortunately, we can't extend the same congratulatory wishes to Coke Racing Promotions. They've officially lost the Tim Tigert Memorial Turkey Derby that was supposed to be held the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Another victim of gathering, COVID, etc. So that went off the schedule, and that has thrown a real wrench into the plans for Mark Elliott, because the Unified Point Series finale was supposed to be at that event, and Mark had already said that after a certain point, any events that were lost were lost. They weren't going to be able to reschedule or relocate them or move them or what have you. So essentially, without any pomp, circumstance, and fanfare, the Unified Derby Series has now come to a conclusion, and it's over. So we've got we're going to try and do some following up with Cody Koch and give them a little bit of space, because I know they were getting hammered from all sides with questions and stuff. Give them a little bit of space, let them get some time to plan and figure out what they're going to do, if this is going to just have a pin put in it until the spring of next year, if they're just going to wipe it from the schedule and plan fall of next year and get those details down. But, I mean, the 2020 strikes again, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I'm really getting more and more done with this year. I woke up this morning. Actually, I woke up this morning at 4 o'clock for no apparent reason, and the kids had school going on, and Zach stays upstairs, and Nick comes down here. So I'd actually went back in our room, was watching TV, and I may have fallen asleep when I wake up to news that a longtime friend had a brain aneurysm this weekend, and it's not looking good. So I'm just getting more and more and more sick of this 2020.
Is that a football? Is that a football contact or a derby contact?
No, just a friend I've had. I don't really want to get too many details. Just somebody I've known for probably close to 30 years. Had a brain aneurysm this weekend, so, and it's not looking good. But I'm just, football. I'm ready for 2021. Hopefully we can get things to start looking a little better.
Right. Well, I agree with that. So, to double back on the Unified Point Series stuff. So I reached out to Mark Elliott through Facebook and just to see if he was available to sort of rehash what the plans were. And he is up to his eyeballs in paperwork. What they're doing right now is doing a meticulous event-by-event audit to independently verify the attendance, independently verify the point standings, and everything like that. So basically, they've taken the records that they have here, put them to the side, and basically recreating the system and going through and making sure all the numbers match. And then he's got additional. It's all hands on deck over there. So which I think it's awesome. I'm glad that they're doing that and going through it, because it never hurts to measure twice and cut once,
Absolutely.
And he's a guy that is big on word, and he's going to make sure that what he puts out there is right. So on that front, patience. Let them get everything done. Let them get the audit all taken care of, and we'll go through that part of things. On the flip side, what a season. You know what I mean? It's not a single event does not a champion make, unless, of course, it's NASCAR's playoff system, and then, you have to do – you could – conceivably, you could finish 25th at that and win a championship, but that's a story for another time. John Shipley coming away with that impressive run of 10 wins, and then Don Santel backing it up with just impressive a season. But those two pushed each other. It was a culmination of all that stuff. They had to continue to match each other and play this game of one-upsmanship all year long in order to get to the point where they could even look at being in position to lock down that championship. And it did come down to the two of them. The consistency paid off, and the battle was down. It was a two-horse race going into that last event that unfortunately we'll never see.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I can remember talking to you. I think it might have been our flight to Florida back in what was it, February, and talking about this points, because it was new then. I mean, it was it was still building, and it was still in a infancy stage. And the name I mentioned was Don Santel. I said, if this is something that Don would be kind of perfect for. I mean, he's just so consistent, and and obviously we John Shipley didn't. He wasn't on the radar then, but I mean, going forward, he's got to be. I mean, when you have 10 wins in a season in any kind of motorsport, that's very impressive. So, right. Great season. Both those guys had a great season, and hats off to Mark. Let's be honest. Derby promoters don't have a great history of friendly working together, in a friendly sort of manner. And for so many guys to get behind this, and to help the sport grow as a whole, that was great. And anytime Derby drivers can get a couple extra bucks put in their pockets, I mean, we got to be happy about that. So just a great thing for Derby. And again, let's hope next year there's 30 shows, and they're all able to be run, and we can see the full extent of this. But for a first time, for anything like this really big going on, it's a very impressive feat, and all connected with it should be very, very proud of how it worked.
He did convey a couple thoughts that said it's clear that people are going to be disappointed that this played out the way that it did. One needs to remember that it wasn't Mark that made the decision to cancel the Turkey Derby, and I'm pretty confident that there was other people involved than just Coke Promotions too. I don't think that they were the ones that single-handedly decided to pull that rug out from under us either. And it's not an easy decision for anyone, as we've seen year long. People agonizing with the decision whether they do or don't go. Toast moving his show. I think he moved it. He might have moved that one twice. The Wicked Derbies were affected in the spring. Some events never even got off the ground. When you look at Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash being pushed off till 2021 as a whole. So obviously it's not an easy decision, and I know that you get to a point where these drivers have put the effort into building the cars. I mean, that event's only 2 weeks away, and now can they run that car anyplace else? Have they band-aided something together now that essentially can't go anywhere, or what the situation is? So there's some disappointment around all that, not having the chance to go get the championship, not having the chance to finish the championship run with a win. A number of different factors in there, but like we said before, it's a culmination of all the events and all the effort that was put in season long, and not just solely staked on this event and the one prior to it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Unfortunately, just so many things were out of anyone's control. I mean, obviously we've known Jason Koch for quite a while, and I feel like we're known pretty well. And the last thing he wanted to do was cancel a Derby, period. So I'm sure there was a lot of health departments and local government that had the unfortunate that they were the ones that called it. So I mean, it's so tough, and I really want to say that, hey, it can only go up from here, but no, the luck we've had in 2020. I'm not going to say that. I just, I really hope that things health-wise improve for everybody, and next year we can have a full season.
And that's one of the things that I think that everybody involved with the Unified Point Series can look back on is in March, probably right around March 12th, when things started looking really bad, and in the weeks that followed March 12th, and everything started getting knocked off the schedule, and we started losing events, and events were getting moved and things like that. To have the number of events get in that the Unified Series was able to get in, to add shows, the number of events that Frankie Guy and Hardcore was able to get in, the Keystone Nationals got in, Iron City Nationals were able to be contested. I think, from a 10,000-foot view, we should also have we should be a little bit grateful that we even got any of it in.
Oh, absolutely. I was just going to touch on those same names you just mentioned. I mean, for the guys in New York, I mean, we've seen a lot of guys travel this year, a lot of guys that have never traveled before. Some guys had some really good runs, which, I'm a little biased. I like to see our hometown guys, and by hometown, I mean New York, go anywhere and have a good showing. I mean, this week at BMP, I think we had 4 or 5 guys, locally, in the top 10. Obviously, James won it. I believe both Eldridge boys were in the top 10. Toby was in the top 10, I think. So, it's maybe in a way this will help. Going forward, these guys go, hey, we can go run the PA and compete, and we've even learned some stuff. So, I think we got to try to make something positive out of it. It's at this point, it is what it is, and going forward, hopefully things will improve.
I sure hope so. There's going to be a full spread in Derby Life magazine on the season recap and some thoughts from Mark forthcoming as soon as they finish the audit. The official standings and such will be revealed. There was talk about a year-end banquet. At this point, I think that those plans probably would have been tabled at best, if not canceled in whole. But that all remains to be seen too. We'll wait for Mark to come out with his final details on that. It's just a bummer. You know what I mean? It really is just a letdown, because I for the amount of time that we've spent around racing, I've always loved the points chase, and that, and I never really got behind all the different point entities that happened in Derby, because I always got nervous that it was burning out the drivers and stuff like that. But Bo did a nice job with it when Reckless Warriors was out there running. And I thought this opened things up to a lot of different drivers, because it wasn't just one class, it wasn't just one place, it was all over the map, literally and figuratively, in terms of the builds and the physical locations and stuff. And it's just disappointing. I really wanted to see that final showdown, even if, like the Hoosier Point Series that we have in the Northeast here, where you're scoring points against drivers you don't even necessarily see that are running the same class of car in terms of dirt modifieds at a track halfway across the state or north of the border or whatever. To have that final encounter where these two guys were in the same place, going for the same points, trying to win the same championship, and they might not even have been in the same division, it was really going to be cool. But it is a letdown.
Yeah, and I mean, that's, I have pretty good memories. I mean, 2004, my brother won Mr. Dirt. I mean, we went into Eastern States, and I mean, that's, my brother has a win there in a series race, but Eastern, Orange County is a hard place for outsiders to come in and have good runs. Mm-hmm. Usually Brett Hearn wins, both days at down there, but we had to finish within 2 spots of Brett or 3 spots of Brett. I can't remember what it was. It ended up, he won and we were second. So, we won Mr. Dirt. And I mean, that was just amazing. And, those kind of battles are always fun to be a part of. And, it's great for the fans and great for the drivers. And, like I said, hopefully next year stuff straightens out and, Mark gets great support again, and we can have one go all the way through, and may the best man win.
Yes. There's another there's this thing hanging over this show. It's episode number 330. We should be talking about Blizzard Bash, and it really bums me out that we're not, with all the team show elements and the the limited weld teams and the weld class and the qualifying side and the national bracket. We should be talking about all that stuff, and it just really bugs me that we're not. Really, we shouldn't even be on tonight. We should be talking about Blizzard Bash next week because we would have been trying to travel home and get here and fighting the exhaustion in terms of today. But it's a little frustrating that we're not able to have that tonight too.
Yeah, it's funny. The last few days I've had all the different memories from Facebook pop up, and it definitely is. I mean, it's no fun. I mean, we Blizzard Bash has become such a big part of the season for everybody. It is. I mean, there's all the times we've been there, we've never come out of Topeka without a good story or a lot to talk about. So. Yeah, it's definitely rough, but I mean we can touch on the virtual Blizzard Bash you guys had over the weekend with something like 42,000 views over 2 days. So hats off to you and everybody associated with it. I would say that was probably a success. So I guess that's kind of the best we could do for right now. I did see Chris Lancaster put up a post. Asking about people that were building for Blizzard Bash. Are you still building? Did you stop building? You're going to start building.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? And guys were on there talking. So it's just let's get this last month and a half over, and hopefully these vaccines that they keep talking about are as good as they say. And I'm ready to move on, man.
Christmas is only let's see, 25. Carry the one. About 40 days away at this point?
Yeah, something like that. Which means I got like 50 days still left off, I think, or I don't remember.
So RDP, Realistic Derby Project, and which is fronted by Jesse Myers, got together with Smash It and Black Flag, Corey Beal, Black Flag Designs, and they had the Stormont Vale Event Center modded up, and it looked just like the Stormont Vale Event Center. It was cool. If you haven't checked it out, it was online Friday and Saturday, 2-day team show, 12 teams, 48 drivers, and it wasn't all the one and dones and everything like that. It took like 4 hours the first night and maybe 6 hours the second, but it was still something. And they reached out and asked if it was something that we could stream and help them out with, and I said sure, no problem, happy to do so. And they put all the work in. I don't want to take any credit that's not ours to take. They took the work, put the work in. All we had to do was just get video out to Facebook, and we were able to do that. And a lot of folks enjoyed it. Some folks didn't. Some folks had a little bit of a frustration factor to it, and laughed at it a little bit. But you know me, I am all for anything that makes Demolition Derby better or new or different. Through the course of the weekend, I talked to Justin Montgomery, Chicken. He said he needs to start his Blizzard Bash car, actually. So that's kind of interesting to hear. But he's interested in getting a computer and maybe diving into a little bit. We talked to Tony up in Minnesota. Same deal there. Got to get through Blizzard Bash and stuff first, but then maybe put a computer together to go mess around with it. Eric Moulet, he was also interested, and he's built some computers in the past. So he thought it was really cool, and he started going on. It's like, so it's all just like automatic. The cars are going to bend at any particular point at any particular time, and I'm like, no, it's far more in depth than that. And I started explaining to him the frames and the bodies and the differences in springs and how you can change things up, and it's going to make the car react different. And he just kept writing back, whoa, it was blowing his mind. And Sunday I got a phone call from Dave Diver at Big Rock. And same thing. He's like, so what kind of computer specs do I need anyway? So it was cool. I mean, it's something different, and I got to tell you, pacing around Friday, waiting for school to get out, and knowing that we were going to go do this virtual Blizzard Bash thing, still had a little bit of the butterflies. I'll be honest with remembering what the arena smells like when they're getting the popcorn ready and they're getting all the floors swept and everything, and security's milling around. It was really cool to be a part of it. Much as anybody, I would much rather been in Topeka, but this was a neat way to at least keep the spirit of Blizzard Bash going this time of year.
And and a lot less people have a lot less hurt pocketbooks and wallets, and a lot less people are a lot less sore.
I find it hard to believe that that's true. One of the comments in the live chat here, Bobby Joe Shipley throwing up a heart for John Shipley. Well deserved. It was a great season for him. Probably next week we'll be able to dive into some of the point standings and recap a little bit more of that and get deeper into what happened in the grand scheme of things. But Mark wanted, again, just to relay to everybody, Mark wanted to audit everything and make sure it was right. So he actually put up what he found to be the point standings going into Turkey Derby, and asked the drivers, said, hey, if you see a mistake, go ahead and point it out. You guys are going to be my hardest critics. So he did have a post shared. I thought about writing in there that Brian was at all the shows and should have scored 110 points by now, but I figured it'd be easy to prove that was a lie.
Yeah, that'd be hard to do.
Yep. Some big deer getting turned in over the weekend.
Yeah, there's been some monster shot. Actually, my godmother, who is 75, shot her best deer of her life. She shot a 147 5/8 last week and a half ago. Monster, just a huge buck. Yeah, there's been a lot of deer shot around. So hopefully, I'm hoping our opening weekend for rifle is this weekend. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping my son has a little luck, and he got his first deer last year. Hoping maybe this year he can get his first buck. That would be cool. So yeah, we're getting ready for that now.
Did you see the slob that Pete Hansen got?
Yeah, that was probably a management buck. I mean, Pete's Pete and everything. I mean, that's, he probably didn't want the genetics up on the hill anymore and took that one out. So we'll see what he does with a rifle. Maybe he's, knowing Pete, he's probably got something bigger in the works to take care of.
I heard that he doesn't actually have to hunt. He just takes C-clip axles, digs a hole, and puts them in the ground like spikes, and just lets the deer walk over the leaves, and they fall in, and that's how he gets them.
That is kind of funny. I will say that the one time I was at Pete's house, there was deer standing in his side yard.
He's often joked about that.
Yeah. So, Pete has a beautiful home in the rural area of Pennsylvania, and there is, his house is on the one side in the yard, and then it is surrounded by woods. We saw lots of deer, so he's definitely in a good spot. Jeremy Gully got one today. He got his first archery buck in Pennsylvania, so congratulations to him. I mentioned earlier, I woke up at 4 this morning, and Jeremy doesn't sleep. We all know that. He was on Facebook at, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and we shot the bull. We do that a lot, and I asked him if he's going hunting. He said no, he wanted to, when the wind was blowing, harder than the hubs of hell, and said it wasn't good to be in a 25-foot up in a tree. And so later on, I asked if he was on. He said, yeah. Or if he was hunting, he said, yeah. I said, wind blowing? He said, yeah, it still is, but it's rocking me to sleep. So ended up getting a buck down in Pennsylvania, which is, basically across the road for him. So congratulations to him for that, and to all of our hunters, good luck, be safe. Hope everything goes well, and everybody gets something this weekend.
Have you guys got much on the trail cam this year?
Yeah, we've got, and it's funny, we were, Zach and I were talking, went to the gym, and I did some spotting for him, and then I, with a mask on, and I went out to the truck and stayed by myself, but we got a lot of stuff on the trail cams, and it's just weird how you see all this stuff on trail cams, and then you get to see it, and they disappear, so, yeah, we got, 5, 6 different bucks, different areas of the farm, a bunch of does and coyotes, fox. So we're hoping. I've seen we have a nice 8-pointer on one part of the farm that Zach's kind of been chasing. I'd really like him to get a shot at that buck, but we actually got to go. And Brent that owns the farm, he's done combining, all his crops been harvested. So we're going to go down and hang out at his house one night and figure out where everybody's going to go over the farm because myself, my son Zach, and my brother-in-law Rock, we're all blessed enough to Brent lets us hunt his property. So I said, hey, because I'm a good guy, I'm even going to let you pay or you choose where you hunt first because you do pay the taxes on the property. So I figured I'd give him a little bonus for doing that. So, we're getting ready to go.
Mike Osterhout got a nice one, too.
Oh, my goodness. Beautiful. He actually got that just outside of Waterloo on Mills Road.
Yeah. That's the woods across the street from where my dad used to hunt 1,000 years ago.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought it would be Desi's grandfather has a camp down near Alfred.
Okay.
And usually they go down there, and, her uncle's taking a lot of big bucks down there, and I asked him if it was there, and he said, no. He said, we're renting some land out on Mills Road. And I said, oh, that's cool. So, Yeah, happy for him. But yeah, that's something else I miss about Blizzard Bashes. I always, obviously the cars, but talking to all the hunters I know about hunting, Sam Bando and Elvis Thumb and the guys from the Post of Mopar. I love hearing hunting stories. Kenny Rosno's fiance, Lindsay, she's an avid hunter out there in Nebraska. She shot some big bucks. So I miss seeing pictures and hearing the stories. So, hopefully, like we've said a million times, hopefully next year we can things can get a little bit back more on track, and we can all get back to doing what we love.
Sure hope so. You got anything else pressing?
No, what's up?
No, we got to be done. I can't sit anymore. My leg is driving me crazy. I can't feel my leg anymore. My leg is my back is killing me right now. I think we got to be done.
Okay. If you want, I can meet you at your house and give you a nice rub down.
No, I'm good. I'm all set there.
I've been told I have really strong hands and my massages are amazing.
I don't think that strength and force is what I need right now. I think what I need is some new bones being rebuilt back there. I think that's the missing link right now.
Speaking of that, Jamie Aldridge's wife, Bambi, she had back surgery here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Our best wishes on her healing up and feeling better soon. Backs scare me, man. So far to this point in my life, knock on wood, I haven't had a serious back injury. My father-in-law, he worked in the foundry for years at Gould's and ruined his back. It really scares me. I see you and what you're going through, and nothing worse than a back injury. So, yeah, absolutely. Kick me off the air, and we'll call it good, bud.
That sounds good. Guys, I apologize for cutting it short. We will be back next week with a more in-depth and more focused episode 331. Appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight to catch up with this one, and congratulations to everybody that did well down there at Burlington. Congratulations to Colin Walker, Chris Parton, Zach Drummond, and Jeff Smalley, who that was the winning team at the virtual Blizzard Bash. Appreciate that. We will be catching up with those guys. We'll catch up with more with Mark Elliott and everything next week on 331. That's going to do it for us here tonight. We'll see you next time. The Crash Course Live is presented by Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of May Mania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLinks1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.